Nahi thara soti para virat sankara. Nahi veera sanchi swayam vidyapati krishna sada. Nahi thara soti para virat sankara. Nahi veera sanchi swayam vidyapati krishna sada. He had Hari Di Ariaba Isara Chimpagara Gara Gara আদি ভিতরে ଆମେ ଲୁଚିଥିଲୁ ଏ କଥା ନଥିଲା ଜଣା ଏଠି ପଢି ନିଜେ ନିଜକୁ ଚିହ୍ନିଲୁ ପାଇଲୁ ନିଜ ଠିକଣା ଆମ ଭିତରେ ଭରା ତାର ସବୁ ଯିବା ଯାର ନାହିଁ ସୀମା ଖୁସି ଯାର ପାସୋରା ফুলরে ধরে ধর তার দিবা Yomuti sile rakhi dreams na dreams nu hai khali ke katha thara dreams to hamari ma
Good morning, esteemed guests, respected panelists, distinguished participants, and everyone present over here. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the plenary session of National Conference on Sustainable Business Practices, a roadmap to Viksit Bharat 2047, focusing on how businesses can play a pivotal role in shaping a sustainable future for India. The theme of today's session is Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Strategic Foresight, a roadmap to Viksit Bharat 2047. We are honored to have some remarkable thought leaders with us today who will provide their invaluable insights on how we can achieve a sustainable, inclusive, and economical prosperous India by year 2047. Please join me in welcoming our distinguished resource persons. Dr. Chandrasekhar Mishra, Associate Professor of VGSOM IIT Kharagpur. Dr. Mishra's expertise in corporate sustainability and responsible business practices have made him a leading voice in the field. He will shed light on the role of business leadership in driving sustainability. Let's welcome Sir to share his valuable thoughts. Please, sir.
Namaskar. At the outset, I thank all the organizers of this conference on sustainable business practices, a roadmap to Viksit Bharat 2047. The first thing that comes to my mind after this is the first time I'm visiting this campus. I think Dreams could be the best example for sustainable practices. A campus which is having everything, be small or big, everything together, and whether for students, faculty, staff, all, you have everything here. So that's what I was just asking when so nicely somebody served a tender coconut water. So I thought possibly this must have come from the premises itself. So that is the ultimate example of sustainable practices. Instead of depending on outside resources, you depend on internal resources. So there is no other alternative but to be sustainable. That's what I was wanting. Thank you. I can understand it. Like that's okay with
Thank you, sir, for valuable insights. Now we are privileged to call Mr. Radhanath Agasti, Vice President of HSBC Bank India. Mr. Agasti brings a wealth of experience from the financial sector where he has worked on sustainable finance and green investment initiatives. His insights into intersections of finance and sustainability will be crucial for today's conversation. Please, sir, rise up to the stage and take your seat. Thank you, sir. Dr. Ravi Narayan Subudhi, a professor at Centurion University. Dr. Subudhi's academic and practical knowledge in sustainable development practices, particularly in the context of rural India, will offer a ground level view to how sustainable practices can transform communities. Please, sir, take your seat. Lastly, Dr. Sharada Prasad Sahu, Assistant Professor at Barampur University. Dr. Sahu's work on sustainability from an academic perspective and his research into sustainable business model will provide us with a comprehensive understanding of the challenges and solutions in implementing these practices. Presence of your adds value to the crowd here, and we humbly request you to express your views in the seat. Thank you, sir. Let's introduce Ms. Pratiksha Tripathi, our today's moderator of day. On the stage, ma'am is excellent academician, a researcher in the field of English, an excellent communicator, and we yet again privileged to have her among us. Ma'am, I request you to carry on the proceeding of the day as the moderator. Please, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. It's day two of the national conference, and we have had very much, a lot of discussion and very phenomenal sessions on the roadmap to Viksit Bharat 2047. Today, indeed, I'm joined once again by a panel of experts, luminaries in their domains, and we are excited to begin yet another session on that theme. So, without any further ado, may I now request Mr. Radhanath Agasti, Vice President, HSBC Bank, to please rise up to the podium and speak. You're also requested to use a hand mic in case you are comfortable. Fine. So I request the speakers to limit their address to 5 minutes due to the paucity of time. Thank you so much. Yes, sir. So after 5 minutes each, we are expected to have some questions and further ideas and concept exchange from the audience as well. So 5 minutes is the time limit.
So with this time foundation, I need to make everything cut and set. So just to you know about me, and things has been loud and clear about me. And yes, I just echo, sir, what he was telling about. We have guessed like when the moment we put down here, we got this essence of sustainability through getting the coconut water. But I had a suggestion here while watching this anthem, so university anthem. So I saw many of the floors are vacant, so that can be used by renewable energy. So that's a suggestion, business suggestion from the business side. I would suggest you can use like renewable energy that can be cost saving and will be sustainable. So that's all as of now. Obviously, we have many more things to cover. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. We may have some questions from the audience. And again, when we start the discussion, maybe we can take up some questions. Up next, I invite Dr. Sarada Prasad Sahu, Assistant Professor, Department of Business Administration, Barampur University, to please address the gathering on this topic. Please, sir.
A very good morning to revered panel resource persons of this plenary session, audience, and the organizers. It's a privilege on my part to be a part of this plenary session. In fact, in 21st century, there is a new paradigm is coming on. In the early 70s, the term paradigm was coined by Thomas Kuhn, the famous and acclaimed management guru. When we look at a paradigm, it means on examined assumptions that is affecting our socio-economic life. And when we look at the term sustainability, as I am a scholar of human resource management, I would set the tone by saying there are some of the grand challenges which are setting the foundation of a new paradigm, possibly need to be examined, or else we will face that question of unsustainability in the coming days ahead. First grand challenge on the frontier of the global economic issues, that is geo-economic fragmentation. The term globalization is gradually maturing with differing trade equations among nations. With the rise of the new Trumpian era, we see there is a geo-economic fragmentation and the shift of the capability centers, leading to skill inability on the part of the employees to adjust to this kind of scenario because companies are going for cost cutting. In fact, we call it value reduction. So the geo-economic fragmentation is one of the grand challenges that every employee must realize, or every person must realize, or a student must realize that how he or she will have his career sustainability. Because there is no assurance or no guarantee of employment in any organization, because Tata Consultancy Organization itself, TCS, is now undergoing a phase of human resource restructuring, or we call human resource is a phase of retrenchment. That's how most stable corporations are facing this. Another grand challenge in the context of present scenario is DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is a pressing issue on the part of the convergence of various cultures into organizations, DEI. Third dimension, grand challenge is the climate change. Climate change is affecting every nation, and every companies are looking for renewable energy resources. Therefore, we need to have the certain kind of skills to match with it. Fourth grand challenges, which is most important, is all about setting the geopolitical equations, or we call soft power. Professor Joseph Nye coined this term soft power. We can see many developing countries, young students like sitting here, they are enjoying Korean web series. This kind of transmission or transfusion of one culture influencing another culture is all about ability to influence a community through soft power. And now we see across the globe this kind of strategic diplomacy to influence nations to prepare their trade strategies in favor of them. That is what we call soft power. These are some of the grand challenges, and some more grand challenges will also come, but possibly these are assumed challenges yet to be examined through research. And it has severe implications on human resource aspect, particularly skill aspects. I request all of you to go through some of the global skills report, skill gap report, and you can certainly trace out what kind of new skills are emerging to make our career and employment sustainability. So in the coming time, during the course of discussion, we can throw more light or can shed more light on it. Thank you for this opportunity to share my insight on this August platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Your remarks were quite valid and persistent with the current scenario. Up next, I invite Dr. Chandrasekhar Mishra, Associate Professor, VGSOM, IIT Kharagpur. Please, sir.
So good morning again. Then I have to again sustain myself. Come back to sustain, right? So very nicely told by Dr. Sahu. See, one global context is the 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, that everybody has to adopt, all the countries and the part of the economy also. And if you look at our somebody who is familiar with accounting as subject, accounting, there is a very simple assumption, and auditor has certified that organization is a going concern. So going concern means that organization is going to last for a considerable longer period of time. That is an assumption. If that assumption is not being taken care, the auditor may object. Auditor may certify that no, it is not no more a going concern. But as a faculty of accounting and finance, we said going concern is okay, but prudence said that it's also growing concern. So growing concern automatically takes care of going concern, because if you are growing means obviously you are going on. At the same time, there will be several challenges for the businesses to remain stable. And as rightly told by Dr. Sao, that yes, you have pressure for the cost, cutting the cost. And cost cutting takes place at all the functions, so the marketing, finance, HR, operations, system thing. Okay. And that way you have what sustainable finance sources also. Now, organizations, institutions focus on that you are Green finance means if you are initiative towards more of green, then possibly you get a better, a cheaper cost of funds for that matter. So that way the organizations go from going to growing. And because of this importance, focus, and all these things that you have got the for sustainable business practices, the business may be check out also. The check out means the business may be closed down. So, and then obviously the business can revive and re-establish itself with the new things product. One simple example of a growing concern or a that particular example takes care of sustainable practices that you have a very popular company 3M. So 3M has a simple principle that certain percentage of sales in a particular year must come from products introduced in last, let's say, a number of years. Suppose let's say 5 years. Suppose if I'm just giving hypothetical example here. So maybe 40% of sales for 3M in a given year must come from products introduced in last 5 years. That means not more than 60% sales can come from products of the company which are more than 5 years old. So that simple mission or vision statement makes everybody responsible to have a sustainability practices because you have a challenge to grow with new technology, new innovation, new products, and consumer taste and preference keeps on changing. That is also pressure there, and as internal pressure that yes, for a given unit, this much sales must be coming from products introduced in last one number of years as such. So organizations have different practices, supply chain, finance, everything you have that pressure, so that to be sustainable and so that the organization remain for as many years to come. Because um, one example could be that yes, although going concern, but if you look at actually a presently surviving organization in the world could be maybe 500 years old or something like that. There come some company, some hotel in Japan, which is a very old company. Organizations definitely close down. Organizations, most of them die, or they may be restructured, they will be taken over. No organization can be there for all the time to come. Even if it is there, the nature has changed. So look at another example is IBM. Suppose 20 or 30 years back, somebody says IBM, we will think it is IBM is computer mainframe. Now, if somebody you ask Gen Z or somebody what is IBM, IBM says that it is a software service company. That means IBM is there, but IBM 20 years back is not today IBM as such. So they have sustained by coming with different things, being relevant for the particular market. So everybody, as a faculty, the last thing I have to tell you, I have to sustain myself to the students who know possibly more than what I know. Because for a faculty, the main thing is information asymmetry. If you are important, because you have some information which the student don't have. To sustain myself to have that information students don't have is very difficult as such. So we look out for different, because now we have a class where you have possibly chat GPT, perplexity is the order of the day. It's no more Google. You can see the Google, so 5 years back we thought there's no order to Google. But few days back we thought Google is gone till they come with their chat, whatever that OpenAI model access. So that is an very example that how challenging is for everyone, profession, practitioners, businesses, government, even political parties also. They also remain sustainable. So everybody is challenged. We have to be there. So innovation and entrepreneurship actually augment those sustainability as such. Maybe some more questions, something we can discuss further. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Up next, I want to invite Dr. Ravi Narayan Subudhi, Professor of Management, Centurion University, to deliver his address. Please, sir.
Good morning, learned participants, respected fellow panelists, my dear Dr. Sarda, Dr. Mishra, Mr. Agasti, and Ma'am Tripathi, and respected colleagues of this beautiful university, DRIEMS
in general and School of Management faculty in particular. This is a panel discussion and there is a theme. To me, the most critical word is the last word of the theme, Bharat. I'm addressing to the young mind, those who are listening or not listening to us. When we are having a theme like Bharat, we should try to understand, perhaps we are redefining something other than India. There is a huge difference between India and Bharat. In this concept, we may recall Bapu, father of nation, that India lives in villages. So perhaps we have to see the masses, not the class. And the present central government who have coined this Viksit Bharat, it's a desi development of the masses. And the theme, I appreciate, congratulate the organizer, like the key would be the innovation and entrepreneurship. Again, if you look to the need, the requirements of the masses, which live in mostly the villages or semi-urban area, what they need, what they suffer, and what we have to do. And fast-term innovation is perhaps the key, perhaps one of the solutions. Maybe like Dr. Mishra was suggesting, referring in another context, 3M, I'll be again citing the another 3M company, US-based company, which is famous for its innovations. I was lucky to visit that company in the US, and many of you must have heard or may Google that 3M is a company where no question asked for the researches, innovations by the employees, passionate young researchers, whether you are succeeding or not succeeding, whether your present project is ending in a definite period, finite period, or indefinite, no question asked for, and money is not a problem. Such a wonderful company 3M is, and it survives, and it is unique because of its innovation. Now, coming back to India, coming back to the masses of India, and coming back to the rural India, what we need that the innovation for rural development, innovation for Viksit Bharat. And that 2047 may be a misnomer because we got independence in 1947, 100 years after what will be the Viksit Bharat, that we have to have a roadmap. I think the topic is fantastic. What Dr. Sarda was suggesting in another context again, perhaps he used value reduction, but I'll be using a value addition. Okay, the innovation may be for the value addition also. And in that context, we should not undermine the term jugaad. Even jugaad management also is one where you will be really surprised in rural areas, lot of things happen and they are really wonder. And the traditional knowledge also is a burning topic, and the young colleagues who are here may please Google, and that is a thrust area by the research funding agencies. If you can really have some workshop on developing preservation of traditional Indian knowledge also. So in that context, we have to put our heads together, we have to debate, deliberate, and think what are the ideas, what are the opportunities, what can possibly be done so that the roadmap is really in black and white and we really reach to the Viksit Bharat in a definite time frame. Thanks for giving me the chance. Maybe like we can take out the questions later. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. When we further move into the discussions, we have some questions, some further concepts and ideas that we can brainstorm upon because each of our panel members had to make really valid points on their specific domains. So my first question will be to Mr. Radhanath Agasti. So you are a banker. And for the longest time, you have seen so many evolutions in the banking sectors. So, sir, I have one question for you, actually two. So, how do you see with the current in the current times? How do you see banking as a concept and as in a hypothetical concept, or let's say the concept that is being shown to us, and banking is a reality? Because a lot depends on the attitude of the people who want to be sustainable bankers in the current time. So what's your take on that? Banking as a concept and banking sector as a reality. What do you think are the kind of what the kind of foresight that a person should have if that person wants to enter into the banking sector and make a change?
Hello. Yeah. So if we'll go back to the again sustainability 2047 roadmap. So you might have come across the news that we are by 2047 we will raise $30 trillion. Right, the business will be around $30 trillion. That means as a banker, I'll be happy that yes, our business is going to be flowery for us because we have ample opportunity. $30 trillion in the sense like two lakh 4,000 around crore, right? So we have business by that time. And moreover, the challenge here would be, and everything can be possible the way we are thinking about it is in the if we will have cooperation and coordination between central government, state government, local authorities, and private sector. If both will be in one line, if the dot will be connected properly, then things can be easy and business can be smoothly can be run. And bank as a reality, yes, we can sustain. For sustainability, I am currently the role where I'm working now is climate risk management. So now you can some people can challenge me as a banker how we are working on climate risk management. I can strongly debate as a banker we can have a control on climate. We can do. I might sound odd for some people, but yes, what we are doing and how we are managing it for the business who all are into more carbon emission product and the industry is more they are producing more carbon emission, we are giving higher interest rate of loan to them. Our ask is there, if your carbon emission will be low, then might be your interest rate relaxation will be there. Then in that case, I can say in reality it is different. So climate risk is a key now, right? Glacier is melting, sea level is rising, our environment is here and there. In retail business, we are our one of the term is called physical risk. Physical risk in the sense tsunami is coming, that earthquake is coming. I am lending my money here in this area. Let's suppose in Odisha, I am lending any amount. So for some reason, for some climate issue, something is here and there. Then how I'll get back that money? There should be a proper provisioning for it. So how we are doing it? Through climate risk management, we are making a very robust analysis out of my total portfolio. How many is towards chemical industry? How many is towards my cement industry? All these hazardous industries. Chemical, again, there are some challenges. One is helpful for the people and one is dangerous, right? Helpful in the sense medicine. Some chemical is medicinal. So therein we should have some judgmental. So therein again, another strange thing I would say here is we are hiring scientists. So something strange here. How bank can hire scientists, right? So the point here is, let's suppose I will ask one of the Hero Honda company go for EV, electronic vehicle production. Then they will challenge me. You have landed 50 crore recently. Then you are asking me to move into another innovation. For then you need to, I should some freelancing or some suggestions need to be there. My scientist will be there. They will guide them. There will be some charges. Obviously, as a banker, we will not free them, right? We just know money all the time. So we will charge them and we will guide them how you can move there, right? So there are, in reality, it is really interesting for us and as a youth and for the people who are aspiring towards the job, I would say there are ample opportunity for you, right? Yes, I would echo against Sada sir. There are challenges, but still I would say opportunities are there. So nothing is like permanent except change. Someone had rightly said,
Absolutely.
change is permanent. So we need to be very like acceptable towards change that yes, something can happen. What should be the next? In the childhood, someone was asking very like common question: what is your aim of your life? Now you cannot say strongly. I can argue. You cannot say your aim is one. You should have a diversified aim. If I'm here, then where I can move, where I can switch on. So in reality, I can say again, I'll coming back to your question. In reality, it is like very growing. I can say we can see it's a foreseeable future is really signing for bank. We can go anywhere. Thank you.
So, as you say, the growth is quite noticeable. There are ample of opportunities, but then there's if you have to, in case if you have to give just two factors about a kind of sustainable attitude that a banker has to inculcate, which would be those two aspects according to your level of experience? If there's any piece of advice along with two key factors in maybe in terms of building resilience or in maybe in terms of recognizing what's happening in the banking sector, two key aspects if you have to focus on which an aspiring banker has to build, what are those two categories, sir? Those two aspects.
So sustainable part, you would say like, see,
Basically the
again,
attitudinal inclination.
sorry,
The attitudinal inclination, the two attitudinal aspects that an aspirant should have.
again, I would say change is an like opportunity for us all the time. If there will be change, my bank is there,
Right.
right?
Okay.
That is sustainable for me.
Right.
Change is there, bank will be there. We cannot say change will not be there. Bank is there. Because any change, you need finance.
Right.
Any change, you need support. We are there. And one more thing is, one more rather challenge. I had forgot to mention that one, cyber challenge, cyber security, which is a major threat for us. I am supporting Europe. I am supporting Asia. So major challenge is Bangladesh, Pakistan. We are not supporting. Turkey. We have wide up our the business. Canada was really challenging. So if I will again come back to technology, technology should be there with his bank. Without technology, we cannot sustain.
Yes, sir. So that is actually one point that I maybe I wanted
You
to
were
focus
expecting
on.
to
Yes, I was
get it from
expecting,
me.
sir. Thank
Okay,
you so much for making that mark,
thanks.
sir. Thank you so much, sir. We can further take up questions from the audience in some time. My next question is to Dr. Sharda Prasad Sahu. Sir, as an avid researcher, your research profile speaks volumes about the methodology or the kind of research orientation that you bring in. So, two key points that I have noticed in your deliberation was geo-economic fragmentation, and you also talked about career sustainability, sir. So, could you please throw some light about the kind of career sustainability concept that we are looking at? And also, sir, another thing, please explain this term that's doing the rounds over these years now, skill mismatch. Skill mismatch is a big issue. Why even industry experts and other people at the point we become stagnant with all the knowledge that we have. So, could you please explain these two terms?
It's a very pertinent question. When you look at sustainability, means it is always parallel to time, to x-axis. If we look at sustainable, there is no peak and there is no sharp decline. It should go on a consistent manner. If we look at time and investment graph, if we look at time and learning graph, the moment there is no decline and it moves in a straight line parallel to x-axis, then that is what we call sustainable. That means what? When you see career sustainability, if we look at the domain itself, when a person, the real challenge in India particularly I have observed, many people are actually underemployed. Underemployment is a very emerging challenge. I have seen postgraduates are applying for jobs which require intermediate or graduation qualification. So then why the 2 years of post-graduation the person has studied and waste the resources of the nation? Another important concern is a person studying from an engineering, a soft engineering person is trying or aspiring to be a banker. This is what we call skill mismatch. Means I acquire something and I am pursuing a different ambition. So that's how career sustainability is all about. How do I manage my career? Because there are two terms. One is career development, the other one is called career management. When we say the term career is a set of activities or life course of action that a person undergoes in order to streamline his earning, livelihood, dignity of profession, occupation in which the person is. And more important, there is always a positive change when a person makes an occupational mobility. It must always be vertical. So career sustainability means there is no decline of all these factors associated with the person. But is it happening? I have seen in 2009 when subprime crisis occurred in United States, many young graduates working in Lehman Brothers, American Merrill Lynch, or in companies which were funding to the real estate projects in United States, the companies sharply, uh, went on a bankruptcy, and due to such collapse, many young graduates from developing economies, those who were working there, they had to come back. And when they came back, we have not seen what happened to their career trajectory. It was a sharp decline from a very good salary, handsome salary, to a manageable salary for them, working with mediocre and even low paying companies. So that was what we call career became unsustainable. So when career sustainability comes, we have to first see who is managing my career. Is it my organization who is managing my career, or is it I am driving my own career? So when the individual will drive his own career, he must understand one thing, that what are the factors that will create skill inability in myself. The moment I address those factors, if teachers would not adopt to Google Meet or Zoom, then possibly it would have been very difficult to recover from COVID.
Absolutely.
The learning curve would have got a sharp decline for the students.
Right.
Many students also felt that because some subjects which required a lab kind of thing, it was a great challenge for them.
Yeah.
So that's how skill premium a person must attach to his career.
Right.
How we can attach skill premium? Skill premium is all about putting myself or putting a person himself on a continuous learning trajectory.
Right.
And for that, I would rather say the digital revolution is really helping. We all know about NPTEL, National Program for Technology Enabled Learning. We all know about edX platform. We all know about Swayam platform. These platforms have been created only to add skill premium in an individual so that the career will remain sustainable. Whatever may be the environmental turbulence, there will always be a shock absorber within the person.
Absolutely.
Career shock, we call it.
Yes, yes.
Because due to this externality, when suppose there is a restaurant in the in National Highway side, and certainly the restaurant have never assumed that there will be a flyover, and suddenly a flyover comes, and the business of that restaurant sharply goes down because cars or vehicles, those who are passing through that road, they won't stop. They will definitely catch that flyway. These kind of externality, which were never anticipated by that restaurant owner, is facing an externality we call negative externality.
Yes.
And we never see and we never anticipate a negative externality which may occur in somebody's life also.
Right.
I may have health challenge. I may have an occupational issue. I may encounter some of the environmental issues which I might have never anticipated. That's how do I attach skill premium continuously at least up to the age of 50? Because post 50 gerontological issues will affect.
Right.
It's a medical sociology term. That means the learning curve will decline with respect to the age. Memory will be poor. Retention capacity will be poor. Physical mobility will be a restraint. So skill premium has to be there so that I can leverage the digital ecosystem or infrastructure, and sitting at home, I can ensure my earning, livelihood, and everything.
So,
because they are driving in that way. Yeah.
actually, so that as we that has to do a lot with the vision as well. So somebody has to be visionary and also tap into the available resources, best possible resources, in order to get the outcome. Because we cannot expect that everything is going to be the same. So
Yes.
in that balance, I'll have one last question to you. So because we're talking, you also talk about how the digital revolution or evolution is also helping with that, if not pointing towards the negative aspects of it. But sir, my question is, because you are a researcher, you are an academician, in the wake of AI, ML, IoT, Internet of Things, and all such aspects, I mean, those developments in the current time, do you think that novelty in research can actually help improve the face of academia? Because there is a lot of chances about the theft of knowledge in that way. So, how can we help curb that, sir?
See, when it comes to research, we have learned, academicians like Mr. Sir with us and Subudhi sir, they have at least seen uh, a decade or 2 decades ahead of me. So they would also throw some more light on it. But when I say research, we should always value research in terms of impact, not in terms of numbers. So when we see research, it may be integrity on the part of the individual who is assuming himself or herself as a researcher is more important. Academia needs to play a great role. Yesterday we were discussing the
Yes, sir,
same
that's the
thing.
reason why I asked.
ICSSR, ICMR, and other such kind of bodies, they are funding or they are trusting academicians so that they can take up a challenge and they will provide policy suggestions to the government and those things will be implemented. But surprisingly, if you see ICSSR funding, rarely we can see academicians claiming that my particular project is implemented as a policy document.
Absolutely.
So it's a question of continuously we have to introspect the role of academia in solving the social and economic problems. I would say in 2009, when I was a PG student, I was a part of IIT Kharagpur project in which Professor Pulak Misra was the principal investigator and we were the data collectors. We were going to the field and we had got a chance to interact with three professors, Professor Bhagirath Behera, Pulak Misra sir and Narayan Naik. We got some insights when even we didn't know what is research. We were carrying a questionnaire to the people, mostly tribal dominated, and we were collecting the responses through a pencil. One thing we learned from them, that think whatever we are doing, it is a nation building activity. When a researcher is writing a paper, he should not think that I am writing it for the sake of my career advancement or for the sake of my vertical mobility in my life. The researcher must think of how I can solve the problem being faced by Mr. Augusti or the problem being faced by DRIEMS University or the problem being faced by people or municipal corporation of Cuttack. If I can solve the traffic problem in Cuttack, that is a big research. So that's how 4 important crises: water crisis, energy crisis, crisis of identity, and there are crisis of environment. If my research is contributing even 0.00001% in solving certain issues, then I can say that my research is valid and it will stay long. So integrity, research solving mentality or mindset, and one bigger, we call ideology, that research is a nation building activity. Research is not for a career building activity. Research is a nation building activity.
Right.
You all know in physiology and medicine category, this year Nobel laureate, Scopus profile is only 31 papers. So with 31 papers, a person can, scale up to Nobel Prize, but with 500, 600 papers, which is not possible. Therefore, research must imbibe the character of quality.
Yes, yes.
It should not imbibe the character of quantity, and it is only possible when we think of integrity, challenges I am facing, and purpose. What is the purpose of research? That's what academia should.
Thank you. Thanks so much, sir, for very well
Just
conceptualizing.
another thing to add on,
Sure,
like
sure.
the career sustainability of how we are as a business, how we are helping them, helping the employees. We have HSBC learning portal. So internally, it is not accessible for outsiders. It is a continuous process all the time, as and when the environment is demanding, as the process is demanding, as the technology is demanding. We are building the course plans and asking the employees to go through so that they can build their careers, they can enhance their career. So according to the demand of the technology or any resource or sources, anything. So we have this is how we are developing internal careers of the people. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. My next question is to Dr. Chandrasekhar Mishra. So there are numerous points that you made about how the pedagogical process needs to work. So I have a question to you. We are looking at cost cutting in the IT sectors, and I mean, the other resource persons have also spoken about that. And also, when it comes to academics and IT sectors, like both the sectors, we see cost cutting and all those things like rampantly happening. So, how do you think we can address these concerns by using human potential in a sustainable way, provided we have technology to our rescue all the time? And also, sir, don't you think it has a lot of impact on the young minds who are persistently using technology quite a lot? So, how can human potential, using human potential in a sustainable way, help us reduce the cost cutting in many of the sectors?
think for there is for the individual or organization, one there is no alternative to remain agile. So students have to use different technology techniques all the things. Organizers also do that when they have to encourage that. So there is no way. So you have to enhance your potential, which are potential, both existing employees as well as potential employees. Now the challenge is for the, I think the challenge is more for education institutions. So how to bridge this gap? Because possibly our curriculum or etc. Because we cannot expect students who are 20 years old or 18, 19 years to just change and meet the demand of the industry. So the institutions have to bridge the gap because traditionally our curriculum is behind what the corporate is. And that gap is increasing on a day-to-day basis. What Mr. Agasti is using in the HSBC bank is possibly we don't know now. Okay. So now again they can come together. I remember in some when I was working another organization, so that one ICICI bank actually, so they came to the organization saying that when you're taking the students, so we have to train them in a particular subject. So we want to bridge that particular gap. That what the employer wants or the new recruit has. That bridge the gap has to bring. So the ICICI Bank came on its own to those company institutes where they were they were taking students for placement to train the trainer that we need these particular things in our job when they come because there is a lot of money they have to pay for these. So, but they are trained them as such. So they train the trainer. There are ICICI Bank wealth manager didn't need this one to be taught by for the students, which is not being taught. So there comes that it's industry, academia has to go to industry has to come to academia. That so this is gap is actually filled up with what they need actually. See, adding to that, as an academician, we do our independent research and we have the freedom of not being criticized by the companies. For some reason, the corporates respect academician, but we do keep on working on so many research. As Darda has rightly said, which has no connect with what is happening in the company. And our research is we are more bothered about how to make it more robust, change the sample, change the variable, this model, that testing, this testing, not whether it's solving a problem or not. Okay. So that's has to be there so that the potential of what we're teaching. And that's why I feel, adding to Dr. Sarda's point, case study is the best method to know. And that can also, once you do a case study as a company, suppose I will take a, of course, they have to share the information, camouflage the data as such, because there will be a lot of confidentiality. So that way I know what is happening there, and that I tell this class as well. So case study actually bridges the gap very well. If not perfectly, but compared to empirical study. So I'll always like to have lot of case studies so that the students know what is happening in that industry or that particular company or bank as such. So that they are that itself will enhance the potential and you have to adapt to technology. You have to take advantage of that. There is no one. You cannot say that as I told you, as a faculty, I have to accept that I ask a question in the class and immediately students go to perplexity and answer my question.
Right.
So now what I do, I say in my class, this time I solved this particular problem. I said, now you choose a company that is given to you, find out these things using perplexity, but you add your points. Because I cannot stop them. Okay, and I to remain relevant, I have to also learn that and I also use that. Otherwise, see, being a government college teacher or education teacher, possible my job is secured, but not internal. Because I am not relevant. So students will, so that's the fact. Okay.
Right. Sir,
I hope I have addressed your question.
yes, sir, you have very well addressed my question. So then, obviously, we are looking at the pedagogical part of that, the curriculum change that we need to incorporate. One more question, sir, because we cannot do away with technology entirely. So there's a concept of campus to corporate, which you have been looking at all these years. And what do you think should be the change in the cognitive? What can be done in order to bring some cognitive capacity change in the minds of the students so that they actually realize that campus to corporate is not just a concept, but then it has to do a lot with which they have the vision in order to scale a good career. So your take on that. I mean, how can the campus to corporate concept be a reality where every student can have a prosperous career, especially when he or she belongs to an institution of eminence, like an IIT or let's say an MNIT, and also a state public funded university?
See, when it comes to cognitive ability assessment, there are you have to go beyond the textbook and that examination, and you have to move towards lot of assessment based on well, people have a regular examination as its own sanctity. You have, but this internal evaluation exercise we have. Like in our system, we have 20% internal fees and etc. We have assignments, etc. 30% exam and 50% exam. So possibly you are moving towards something that is you have 50% assessment done to something else, not the that you read the book and memorize it and answer that answer. So that is not the thing. So cognitive ability is because you have to work that because it's not that you just mug up the things as such or mug up the formula as such. So you have to so there is a challenge now for possibly as a faculty we have to go through training. See, we again I'm telling the fact, I'm criticizing myself. Once I become teacher, I feel I know everything. Students are there to listen. More so in public institutions. Okay? So that is not the thing as such. Okay? So we have to learn, you have to train actually. That's why, if you look at that UGC and all they have is a career advancement scheme, FTTs. The mandatory training has to be, well, companies, they have mandatory training program. They have to go through certain days of program, then only they are eligible. Mandatory holiday, all those things. How is that not relevant for us?
Right, right.
How do you think that we join as assistant professor means we'll become dean and
Yes.
not to be trained by anyone in the 20 members
Absolutely.
like? How is it possible? That's
So,
not possible.
so this vulnerability is always there.
It is
You're
there.
you're
So we are
always
all
vulnerable.
And since we are not being questioned, so we also think whatever you tell is right. So anyway, coming back to the point as such, so there comes, since we cannot change the system overnight, so there comes the bringing as many experts, consultants, practitioners to imbibe those things and look at that because we will not be able to do because the cognitive ability to assessment, it is not that anybody can do. There are people who can actually train for that. So you must have them and have a to start with total 100 hours teaching is done, spent for the student, maybe 10 to 15 hours should be done by those experts who come from outside. They are not here as such. That is what something skill-based training, game, role play, game, simulation,
Yes.
several things are there.
Right.
Okay, that can always, when there are established organizations which also, of course, for a charge they do that. And that will be bringing a lot of change in their cognitive ability. That's what I feel. And I try to adapt to my limited extent because I always believe I am not relevant.
Yes, I mean, but then obviously, like a teacher is always in a process of learning. Yes, that's there. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable insights. Definitely. Sir.
So we have a common say in गांव में होता है ना बाप से बड़ा बेटा. So sir is having feeling like we don't have any connectivity, whatever we are teaching, and there is no connectivity with the what is happening in the company. It is there. The basic thing is your presence of mind. I'm just putting an example here, the live example. When I was in Citibank, we had to lend a money to a oil well company, right? Indian Oil is having oil well. We had to lend the money on the basis of its inventory capacity. So what we did is we had to measure how many oil, how much of oil is there in that well. So we had to measure that. And we just sent a field officer and he went there and he measured how much of the oil is there. Instead of he goes into that oil well, like then he has to ride on. There, one of the people was there and he told like, don't ride on, I will take it up. Then he measured and he told like this is the capacity of the oil well. Suddenly, with the presence of mind, that like investigator, he asked again, can you just come down? I'll have to go back again. He went up. Then he saw oil well is around big size. It was stunning. There is a simple 4-inch pipe was there inside that well. Oil well was totally vacant. Nothing was there. In that 4-inch pipe, the oil was filled in. That what they did is they just pulled down that thread and took it out. They told that this is the height of the area and all these things you need to calculate. Whether if that person would not have any presence of mind, he would not go up, then we would lose our money there. It's a complete cheat. So the thing is, you are helping and you are building us to like the basic thing is presence of mind. How you can utilize your knowledge. You are the builders. So you cannot say like you are not teaching anything.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I don't want to put, I just want to put a, there are several things. If you look at in Google or something like that, possible they have come from academic lab. So there are several things that has come okay, from the academics to industry only. But the only thing that possibly we miss the connect, and maybe social science research is little difficult access to get data and actual good. Otherwise, definitely. So there has been academic industry collaboration. That's why the new things are coming up because academics also can afford to do a mistake and still carry on the work. But corporates are actually accountable to so many stakeholders, business and stakeholders. So doing a mistake, they can be questioned by the shareholders. They don't allow that. But that type, like our friend suggested that he suggested that 3M is a company which says that you open to, you innovate whatever you do as well. Your Bell Labs, okay, that AT&T, all this and come up. So many network techniques have come up. Model, all mobile, Bluetooth, you're talking about so many things. They have come from Bell Labs, but they are more of scientists. And they are more of academicians which are recruited by the companies as scientists as such. Okay, so that's what. And as I told, talking about the ICT bank, they recruit PhD students as a research state. This is actually the academic institute is there inside only. So that is no doubt. So I'm sorry that I've did, but I want to just put a for our management and commerce faculty that yes, you have to remain relevant and all that.
No, so you have provided the critical thrust actually. So that discussion was really a very valuable one. Thank you so much for your insights, sir. Up next, my last question to Dr. Ravinarayan Subudhi. So you've talked about innovation. And as the example you cited 3N, and which also Dr. Mishra was talking about, what sort of an initiative do you think needs to be taken in our country so that those kind of innovative approaches can be inculcated into the youth? Because we are talking about Viksit Bharat and it's mostly focused on the youth capability. So your take on that, sir, the innovation part.
At the outset, I'm happy that you told it is the last question. Like a pleasure for all the panelists.
So that was the point.
And while answering, I'm tempted to borrow ideas of my fellow colleagues here, starting from Sarda, Dr. Mishra, and others. What Sarda was very correctly suggesting that underemployment, I'll be linking. I'm not forgetting
Right.
your question. Now, that is also like employability, another issue. If you look at the other side, like half glass steel, half glass full kind of thing. And if you've seen and if you check record, I think at least 87% of the engineers, those who are passing out from the engineering colleges, are not employable. They should not be called as engineers.
That's
And that is what, like, very honestly, candidly, Dr. Mishra was also suggesting. He's from IIT. If a professor from IIT suggesting that it is very obsolete, what company needs, we do not have. Then if IIT professors tells this, what will be there in the general degree colleges in small city? So this is something like a very pertinent crisis. And your last point, I was tempted to supplement what you asked about the C2C, campus to corporate,
Yes.
and everything is interrelated. And Agasti was suggesting like you have to have presence of mind. It's not the bookish knowledge beyond books. And here comes the innovation or out of box thinking kind of thing. So I can give a number of examples even relating to the bank also. Mr. Agasti will be very happy. One of my students is also one MD in a Delhi based financial company. He wanted to have some secret documents from the competing branch. Okay. And they were having some interns from Barampur, Vyavastha. So when he sent a person and with a request that we need to have interbank compilation analysis which will benefit for all of us. Then he told me, you don't tell bullshit. I'm not going to give my data. Then what he did smartly, Mr. Agasti, I don't know whether you have done employed that or not. Madam, with the new apology, all of us are matured. And he, Mr. Bebota, who was my English student from Barampur University, he is now one ND. Luckily, he had some beautiful girls as interns. He didn't tell, he was very serious kind of thing. He told me, you have to get data from that bank, and this data should be your project report. When those two girls went to that bank, then very fellow who was denied to Bebota, he offered cup of coffee. He told us, this document, I'll do more of it. Then he is getting the document and telling, boss, I got your document. Okay. So this was like
Presence of mind, sir.
presence of mind or whatever.
Right, right.
So
We
like
got it.
it's not like the book is correct. Now coming again to original question, it's a fantastic question. Now innovation is the key. I think I have suggested, and Dr. Mishra was suggesting, tell whatever. I think you have asked a very valid question to Dr. Sarada, like sustainable career, agility kind of thing. There are n number of examples like Remington Company, typewriter. So those who are there, one fine morning, typewriters are now there. Imagine what will happen. So all those things you have to innovate. And Remington, if you remember, they have migrated to service, software service. So again, you have to think, you have to find your path. So this is something like innovation is for our survival, and this is something like a creativity part of the innovation. I think very clear.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. So, one last remark that I would request you to keep it short and brief. The introduction of Indian knowledge system as a topic, as a subject in the contemporary curriculum. How do you think it's the right kind of introduction at this point of time? Just two lines on that.
Very brief answer, yes, it is very pertinent, and particularly this particular present central government that is in stress, focus on that, IKS and all that. I think there are few traditional knowledge practice what we see. Say, for example, preserving grain. Okay, you must have heard. I think those who are having rural background, there are like orange leaf and neem leaf. They protect. There's something like a bio-friendly preserver. So those kind of thing, neem we have not patented. I don't know. Like Dr. Mishra can correct me. Neem is something like what we should be really proud of. And those are some of the like traditional knowledges we should actually not only conserve, we have to see how it can reach to the outer world.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your valuable insights, sir. And I thank all our
Yeah,
resource.
I'll
Yes, sir.
Pratimam, I would like to add
Sure.
few lines to it. First one is earlier days, education system was all about understanding. When we see, cognitive capacity, It means how our brain can process information psychologically, complex set of information. Gradually, the information bombardment is leading to creation of data science. But when we look at individuals, merely from the understanding, now the situation is building perspectives.
Absolutely.
What would your take? Just like you are asking questions to us, you are because we all have newspapers with us. We all have plenty of information sources with us. But what else we can add? That is what we call building perspectives. And perspective building is one of the most important responsibilities shouldered on educational institutions. When a student enters into a classroom, he has got information, he has a very good library. What the faculty can add is shaping the perspectives. And those perspectives may not stay relevant for a century.
Yes.
So that's how some perspectives remain, we call, on an undying trajectory. Like Aristotle, Plato, these people, the kind of thought they have, injected to society, that will always stay there. But in context of technology, may not stay relevant because gradually it's changing. That is one, because we are in the era of cognitive decline. Even students do not have patience to go through a 15 seconds reel.
Yes, sir.
There is attention deficit.
Yes.
And there is cognitive decline.
Yes.
And in the sharp cognitive declining time, if we really want them to think of their employment, then what is important is patience, perseverance. These are some of the psychological attributes only possible through embedding such an environment in which the learning and teaching system is taking place.
Absolutely.
So the monologue, dialogue concept, now we are entering into the situation of, like Sir was suggesting, simulation. We are simulating an environment where person will have a real time experience. Adventure camps and many other things are taking place so that a person will have higher level of cognitive capability. Second one is, most of the curriculum is missing a component called design thinking. Like, we have in Stanford University, there is a concept called, Hasso-Plattner Institute for Design Thinking. Similarly, every advanced institute at least should have design thinking curriculum. Nowadays, it is gradually coming up in India. We have to think of designing a product, a process, designing a value chain, designing a supply chain, designing an inventory control system. Everything needs to have a design thinking. It will involve cost, it will involve time, it will involve energy, and we need to have optimization in the designing process. But how it actually is happening, we have to either make a technology transfer program, sending people to those institutions, make them learn there, come back and train us, or we can have an institutional MOU so that there can be,
There can be transaction of
Yes.
such kind of
Yes,
knowledge.
yes.
Yes.
So design thinking is one, and the third part, to address the cognitive decline, we have to really link with this Indian knowledge system.
Yes.
Therefore, the government of India is now promoting yoga as one important discipline in life. The spiritual component of life, if grossly ignored, then our GDP, gross domestic product, will transform into grossly depressed people.
True.
So that's how we need to have an inclination, or we need to have a strong linkage with our inheritance, because the Muni, Rishi, and all saints, they have really made the true definition of Bharat. So the treasured capital of this spiritual enlightenment which we have shown to the world the Buddha, the light of Asia. So we need to see such enlightenment chapters, and again we have to reawaken it. So I request all the faculty members to go through some program, capacity building program on Indian knowledge system, and so that would greatly help us in regaining or getting those glorifying aspects of cognitive upliftment, because we are really in the era of cognitive decline, because machines are taking off the life. Chinese colonization, British colonization,
Yes.
and the technological colonization which is happening or which is regulating our life, that will, make us more vulnerable in the coming days.
Absolutely. So, sir, this comes at the right time.
Yes.
This introduction
So
in the curriculum.
we should have, we need to have, realign ourselves
Yes.
with at least such concepts so that our cognitive decline we can prevent. It is the right time. Or else we will have a trade-off between a machine-driven society which will lack the human spirit.
True. Maybe the human touch.
Yes.
That will be totally
So we
missing.
have to make a more human society.
Absolutely.
So that's what is the thank.
Thank you so much for an amazing closure to that entire concept, sir. And my sincere thanks to all our panelists here. And it's time now to take up a few questions from the audience members. Yes, sir. So I request to keep your question brief since we have lack of time at the moment.
Good afternoon, sir. My question is that, sir, Indian population is going on increasing, and by 2036 it will be around 152 crores. So women entrepreneurs are also increasing. It is around 14% of all entrepreneurs which are in India. 14% are women entrepreneurs, and around 22% are in MSMEs. So my question is that what is the role of women and youth? When I'm saying youth, it is about the Gen Zs, who are the 25% of the Indian populations. So what are the role in the sustainable business practices and also in the Viksit Bharat? Hello. Yeah. So the point here is like about the women employment. So women entrepreneurs, how they will contribute to the. Okay. So yeah. So just while I was coming down on the way, I just found a Naira, one of the petroleum, right? So what they have started is, I'm just giving a glimpse. They've started is on the daytime, girls will fill the oil, and the night shift, gents will come down. So that's how the things are changing. Can you imagine in the driving area, the drivers who like ladies can support drivers, which is like for us, it sounds odd. Like it might not be, but things are changing. I'm sure the women entrepreneurs will come down because with the top terms of startups. Recently, HSBC has started lending startup business, and we are prioritizing if you are supporting climate, and that too. Second one is your entrepreneur is ladies or women. So therein we will support you. Support you in the sense there will be bit relaxation. I'm bound to not sharing about my policies and everything, but still, I would say there are some preferences for these people. If we will do that, definitely I can say their future is glowing one. Yeah, thank you. And to add on again, so in Asia Pacific, so the regional one of the head recently has joined as a lady. Her ask was, my all subordinates should be women. It is not like I cannot say it's a the biasness, but still she was asking like how many percentage of women are there in my group. I found out suddenly they have started employing all these, like considering the gender diversity and inclusion, everything that concept is there in my company as well. So with that concept, they have started employing all these ladies in their group. Thank you.
Yes, sir. First of all, really enjoyed the session. Thank you so much to all our experts. My question is that it's a layman's question, basically. The question is that we are saying that job seeking is becoming secondary and job creating becomes primary now. Now, we are a big nation. Even when we're creating jobs, even we're trying to be entrepreneurs, we know that we end up having people who will be seeking for jobs because you are creating an atmosphere where people will work under you. My friend also thinking about the same thing. So at one point in time, we'll have job seekers and not job creators. How to keep a balance between that in 2047?
Can I take this again? This when I was going through an interview with IRMA, Institute of Rural Management, Anand. So my question that time, my like that interviewer was asking that is back in 2002. After 5 years, where you want to see yourself, right? The same question I can relate to. The things here is again, I was sharing one of the example in one of the IIT Delhi. I was attending one of the session. One of the old professor, he told, "I'm very sorry to say this. I'm not, I'm not getting so many innovations in my institute nowadays because of a lot of reasons. The one reason was he was telling most of the things are spoon-feeded nowadays. People are not in a necessity mode; they're in a luxury mode. So if you'll be in a luxury mode, then definitely startup mindset will not come to your mind. You will be in a luxury. When you will be in a necessity mode, then definitely you will come to a innovation mode. That's the thought. Now, second is how you can and how it can happen through this program. You can say that's a wonderful topic you have selected. I would thank the one who had selected this topic. This is really required. The way we are thinking, we are targeting to be the second highest economy, which is the US and China, and we are going to beat them by 2030. The challenge is, we are target is by 2047, we can foresee that we can reach there. But yes, I'm not politicizing the fact, the thing what is happening around us, but yes, the way it is happening, I think it is really possible. We can go there because HSBC, it is a business where they will not get much benefit, they will not come to. They are started thinking to come down to Odisha, fortunately, right? And they had get a reward in Gift City, Gujarat, right? So and again, I was just looking at, they have been identified as the first innovation bank, like investment banker in world, right? The thing is, if they are started thinking about Odisha, then that means something is happening in Odisha. Might be we are not aware about it. From the business analyst point of view, we are doing all the business analysis. I should not say, but still, before any election, we do that kind of analysis, like who will be the second person to come down as a ruler. And our estimation is most of the time it is close to. So we know like what is going to happen in Odisha. So the things is brightening. And if I can see out of your face and the way you are asking, if that will be your energy, then I think you can reach at that level after 5 years. The energy level should be there. Thank you.
So let me add some more points into it. Balancing between these two thoughts. I mean, when a person wants to be an entrepreneur, then definitely he is creating a situation where some people will seek jobs, right? See, there is another concept attached to entrepreneurship is intrapreneurship. Intrapreneurship. Infosys is the best example. It has already produced 1,300 millionaires since its beginning. People are joining, learning, and then leaving, starting their own startups, and then becoming a partner to the same company. So it's all about ecosystem and what kind of culture the organization is promoting. First one, I would say, after the sad demise of Peter Drucker, one of the visionary thinkers in the area of innovation and entrepreneurship, an article came in Harvard Business Review published in 2012 that what would Peter say, in which three concepts came. Peter Drucker's envisioning of the world was all about the rise of non-profits and what we are seeing now. Non-profit organizations are partnering the government in the growth process. Number two, the growth of knowledge workers. A knowledge worker is someone who is living by thinking, an advocate, a doctor, a medical professional, a professor. These kind of jobs, possibly you just imagine number of insurance surveyors in the current era is gradually increasing, insurance surveyor. But no student is actually thinking of insurance survey is a career, because gradually due to climate change, climate risk, The role of insurance surveyor is paramount. But students are not preparing themselves for a insurance surveying job, which is equally gainful, dignified profession. And a person can live happily with this profession. So there are many such, universities were never instructed earlier to conduct energy audit. But now universities are instructed to conduct energy audit. So professional organizations are required to conduct those audits and provide the survey reports. If someone can enter into that domain, that is a good career. So organization need to promote this knowledge worker philosophy. Even if it is a startup, let people learn. And the third one, in the context of Peter Drucker, is all about lead with a purpose. Lead with a purpose. Why I am saying? Because we have seen Pulse News, which was started by two Indian students, Pulse News. It was acquired by LinkedIn. And when Pulse News was really doing well. And similarly, Go Evivo as a ticketing platform was doing well. And it was acquired by Make My Trip. The moment Blinkit was acquired by Zomato, Blinkit was really doing well in market. But yes. Yes. I'm coming to it, sir. My answer is an entrepreneur must have the mindset to stand rock, prepare its own employees for coming leadership positions and help them to become an entrepreneur also. Then only it will be supplementing to each other. Or else what would happen? We would have limited gigantic corporations in the world leading to consumer monopoly. Only when we can make a competition level playing, when more number of players enter into the field, and we can certainly, preserve a word called consumer sovereignty. When few companies will remain, then it won't happen. Why not Blinkit would survive alone? Why not GoVivo would survive alone? They are simply finalizing with a great deal. So what would happen with that entrepreneur which has not thought of, continuing the venture? So continuity is important. Promoting culture of learning is important, and tolerating an entrepreneur is important. Entrepreneur. If a person wants to go, let him go. We should not be inhibiting. Then only it will be supplementing to it.
Thank you, sir.
I think Sarada has given a good lecture. I think missing his students. But I think if you talk straight, take a random sample. If you ask here the students, how many will be ready to be entrepreneur? And how many, if you ask them to raise hand, who will be like job seeker? Very naked truth. And if you are like Mr. Agassi was suggesting coming back to Odisha, Odisha mentality, in entrepreneurship, we are much, much behind. Now, it's something like we cannot refer to the books, what Drucker suggested or whatever, like unless they are enabling environment. We cannot have enterprises here in Odisha. And I think somebody was suggesting about the statistics. If you check infant mortality of enterprises, very, very high. And this is very shocking why people are not taking steps to go to entrepreneurship. But that is, for example, Gujarat and Odisha. You have more enterprises there, not in Odisha. Can I take half a minute? So sorry. It's a very burning issue. One of my successful PhD scholar, I think those who are research scholar, Madam has granted me 1 minute. I'll try to complete in 1 minute. And he has got most good publication in entrepreneurship. We thought of doing a research why Odias fail in entrepreneurship. That actually started to us. When we thought of doing a research on why Odias fail, that is something like a benchmarking compared with others. Okay. Now, coming to the research methodology, if you're talking of the failure, you have to go to the failure cases. Now, what is the database? So, 40 years back, one enterprise failed and you may not get address. And if you cannot get a good sample of those who failed, there is no point of taking this thing. And believe me, we have to change the title of the research topic because you are not getting a proper sample. that would have been suffering from survival bias. Okay. So now we have to see why in Odisha enterprises is really not happening. Okay. We have to do something like enabling environment or like anybody will tell.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much to all the panelists here. There can be a lot more discussion on this because it's not possible to wind it all up within one session. But then I take a moment to convey my heartfelt gratitude to all of our resource persons here, Dr. Sahu, Dr. Mishra, Dr. Subhuti, and Mr. Agasti. Your presence has, of course, added value to the conference, and we really look forward in engaging in such productive sessions with you in the future as well. Thank you so much. Thank you to the audience members. This highly productive session was successful because of your active participation. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm humbled. Sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to you also.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you to all our resource person for such rich and insightful words. And thank you, ma'am, for cooperating in this session. Now, I would like to call convener Durga Prasad Nayak, sir, to take this forward. Please, sir.
Thank you, Sheetal. Dignitaries on the dais of the dais. So it's time to felicitate all the luminaries. So I would like to call Dr. Biswajit Prasad Chatoi sir to felicitate Professor Chandrasekhar Mishra sir. Sir, please. Please give a round of applause. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Biswajit sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. Sasikant Khuntia sir to kindly come to the stage and felicitate Professor Ravinarayan Subudhi sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. Bhavani Sankar Mohanty sir to kindly come to the stage and felicitate Mr. Radhanath Agasti sir. Please give a round of applause. Now I would like to invite Subhasis sir to kindly come to the stage and felicitate Dr. Sarada Prasad sir. Please give a round of applause. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Sheetal, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request Mr. Pavitra Nayak, sir, to conclude with the vote of thanks. Please, sir.
So very good afternoon to everyone present over here. It is indeed my privilege and honor to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of School of Management Studies, DRIEMS University. As we conclude day number 2 of our national conference on sustainable business practices, a roadmap to Viksit Bharat 2K47. Today's plenary session on innovation, entrepreneurship, and strategic foresight, roadmap to Viksit Bharat 2K47 has truly been enlightening and thought-provoking. We are deeply inspired by the distinguished speaker who shared their wisdom and their views on how innovation, entrepreneurial leadership can shape India's journey towards a sustainable and developed future. Our heartfelt gratitude goes to Dr. Chandrasekhar Mishra, the Associate Professor, VG SOM IIT Kharagpur. Sir, thank you, sir, for his insightful address on fostering innovation and sustainable management practices in today's dynamic business environment. A sincere thanks to Mr. Radhanath Agasti, the Vice President, HSBC Bank India, for sharing his valuable corporate insight on the financial ecosystem and its role in supporting entrepreneurial growth. We are also grateful to Dr. Ravi Narayan Subudhi, Professor, Central University of Bhubaneswar, for his scholarly thoughts on strategic foresight and innovation-driven education. Our special appreciation to Dr. Sarata Prasad Sahu, Assistant Professor, Barampur University, for his enriching session on sustainable and inclusive business frameworks for future India. And last, but certainly not the least, our sincere thanks to Ms. Pratiksha Tripathi, Assistant Professor, Gita Engineering College, Bhubaneswar, for his skillful moderating the session and ensuring the discussion remained insightful and engaging. A big thank you to all the committee members, faculty members, technical staff, media persons, students, volunteers for their continuous support and dedication behind the scene. Once again, thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Attention, please. Now, all the presenters for IT and finance are requested to prepare themselves because we are going to start the session within 10 minutes. All the participants of IT are requested to head towards Rani Devi Auditorium. The vehicle is outside. And all the participants of financial technical sessions are requested to be here. And please give your PPTs, submit your PPTs over here so that we can check it. Thank you.